Hey there, my name is Leif Arneson. I'm joined by my co-host, Dr. Daphne Bascom, and today we are talking all about veggies. We recently launched a YouTube video titled I Ranked Every Vegetable in the Produce Section by Nutrition, and we are going to be talking about the top 10 veggies that we identified in that video. So that was a really fun video. If you haven't watched it already, you can go check it out. So you can just search for The Vegan Gym on YouTube. But today we're going to be talking about all of these top 10 in more detail. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the top 10 veggies we got here?
Well, I've been eating the props, so I'm going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, it's definitely the most kind of beautiful podcast setup that we've had. And I think this will be a fun one. So as far as our ranking system, how we went through and we ranked all of these veggies, we based that ranking system on micronutrients and fiber content. So for every 1 gram of fiber, that was 1 point. And these were all out of a 100-gram sample of each of these different vegetables. So every gram of fiber within a 100-gram serving was 1 point. And then every 10% of the daily value for a particular micronutrient, a vitamin or mineral, that was also 1 point. And that second part had a cap of 10 because your body only needs 100% of the daily value for any particular micronutrient. So that's how we did the ranking system. And today we're just going to go through the top 10 in detail, as well as some honorable mentions for some of the veggie categories that we looked at. So yeah, Daphne, of all of these, before we jump in and talk about them in detail, what would you say are your top 3 veggies? Actually, they don't need to be here, but just like top 3 veggies in general.
You're asking me to choose between children? No.
Yeah. What are your top 3 children?
Let's see. Root vegetables are one of the tops. I eat root vegetables all the time. So on the table, I'd say sweet potatoes. And then I think I put jalapenos in everything. So they're going to rank up in the top 3. And then it's going to be a tough one between the onions, the spinach, and the Brussels sprouts, and the garlic.
Yeah.
They're all favorites.
Yeah. That was a lot of vegetables in the top 3.
Sorry.
Yeah. I would, there are a few of them that I really like. I love spinach. I eat all the time. Garlic is amazing. We've got some Brussels sprouts as well. I really love Brussels sprouts, and broccoli. Broccoli may be kind of my top veggie overall. I'm always coming back to broccoli. But anyways, let's go through the top 10. We're going to go in order starting from last place. So 10th place, arugula, and some quick nutrition highlights. It has over 90% of your vitamin K needs, so 90% of your daily value. It also has 24% of your daily value for folates. And as far as some other health benefits, it's also rich in dietary nitrates, and those are naturally occurring compounds that help support healthy blood pressure by promoting blood vessel dilation and improving circulation. So that can help to improve your overall cardiovascular health. Mm-hmm. So number 10, arugula. What are your thoughts on arugula?
I love throwing it in salad. So I think for all of the health benefits you discussed, and you don't really taste it all that much. So getting a handful of arugula, throwing it in your salad, or even throwing it in a stew or a curry, perfect.
Cool. So I think what do you think about going through and taste testing each one of them?
Sure.
Should we do that?
Yeah, why not?
Should we both taste test, or should we have one person taste test each one?
Are you going to taste test the jalapenos?
Well, we can see.
Let's go for it.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do it. We'll start with arugula. I absolutely hate arugula. I think it's really bitter and pretty nasty. You get some chewing ASMR on the podcast. Yeah, it's kind of bitter, a little peppery.
It's bitter and peppery.
Yeah, I think it can work a little bit in salads here and there. I'm definitely not making an arugula salad.
No. Pure arugula, not my favorite.
Do you ever use it in other dishes? Do you ever kind of cook with it, or?
If I do a refrigerator clean out, I mean, if I'm at the end of the week or things are starting to look green, I will toss anything and everything into a stew or a curry. So yeah.
I think arugula always looks green, but if it starts
slimy green.
Yeah, if it starts to not look so good, yeah, that's definitely. I think whenever I buy arugula, it always starts not looking good because I don't eat it. But all right, that's arugula. Number 10th. Congratulations, arugula. All right, so in 9th place, we've got jalapeno peppers and some quick nutritional highlights for jalapenos. It has a lot of B6, vitamin B6, a lot of vitamin C, and a lot of vitamin E. In fact, it has over 100% of your daily value for vitamin C in 100 grams, and it also has the most vitamin E out of any veggie that we ranked in the entire video. So not just these top 10, but all the veggies that we ranked. And so great source of vitamin E, and vitamin E functions as a powerful antioxidant that supports immune function. It helps maintain healthy skin and eyes, and it also protects cells from damage by neutralizing free radicals. So the one caveat here is that although it is super nutrient rich, you likely won't eat 100 grams of jalapenos, or at least I certainly won't. I don't know about you. Would you do that?
At one time, probably not.
Yeah, 100 grams is a lot.
It could cause some GI effects that.
Yeah, probably would.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be so good.
No.
So yeah, as far as some quick preparation tips, if you want to remove some of the capsaicin, which is actually the compound in here that causes kind of the spiciness, then you can remove the seeds and kind of the inner membranes, and that takes away a lot of the heat. And then you can also pickle jalapenos. So you can get those at a store. You can pickle them on your own, and that adds a really kind of unique flavor to sandwiches, even cooked dishes and stuff like that. And pickled jalapenos are just easy. They're convenient. I have had pickled jalapenos before. I eat them every once in a while. If I am going to have jalapenos, it's probably going to be a pickled version that I have a little bit on a sandwich or something like that. And yeah, I think that's a versatile way of eating jalapenos. So yeah, I know you really like spicy things. You already said it's one of your top ones, but yeah, how much jalapeno would you say is too much?
Oh, that's a big question. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had too much jalapeno.
All right. Well, I definitely have. Okay, well, let's do a little taste test.
Okay.
I've guess we just each get our own jalapeno pepper. All right.
I mean, without the seeds, they almost taste like green pepper.
Very spicy green pepper. I definitely got some seeds. Actually, we probably should have eaten that last. Still got 95% of the podcast to do.
Too hot?
Yeah, that's oh man, you're still going.
I love spicy foods.
Man, my mouth's on fire.
We'll get you some soy milk.
So we got well, one quick little break. We'll grab some soy milk. Next, we're talking about still pretty hot in there, but we'll keep going. Is your mouth actually not hot?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh.
I think I'm desensitized because I eat so many.
We're gonna keep plowing forward. All right, in 8th place, we've got sweet potato and some nutrition highlights. It has over 100% of the vitamin A for the day. And the yellow and orange colors typically indicate a high level of a compound called beta carotene, which can act as an antioxidant and is also the precursor to vitamin A. Carrots are also high in beta carotene, but actually sweet potatoes are an exceptional source. My lips are on fire, tummy's on fire, roof of the mouth's on fire. It's actually hard to talk, and when I'm talking, it makes it a little spicier. I don't know. I got some problems with jalapenos.
Maybe the sweet potato will quench it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Let's quickly get to the taste test part.
Okay.
So vitamin A, packed with vitamin A, really great source. And love sweet potatoes. When it comes to sweet potatoes, purple sweet potatoes are king. They're the healthiest sweet potato. And the purple color indicates a higher concentration of anthocyanins, which is a powerful antioxidant. And you can also find this in red onions or purple onions. purple cabbage, blueberries. So purple sweet potatoes have almost 3 times as many antioxidants as regular sweet potatoes, just a really great source. A few quick preparation tips for sweet potatoes. So potatoes can last a long time, but you want to opt for fresh potatoes when you can because they have a higher content of phytonutrients. And also, you want to keep the skin on. This is something most people know, but not only does it add some extra texture, some extra fiber and flavor, but it also provides additional micronutrients and fiber. And here's a pro tip to make potatoes even healthier. So after cooling them, you can let them cool in the fridge for about 24 hours before eating. And this process actually changes the starch structure within the potatoes, transforming them into what we call resistant starch. This type of starch is digested more slowly, which means that you have a slower rise in your blood sugar levels, and then you can actually reheat the potatoes afterward without losing any of the benefits. And resistant starch not only helps in maintaining blood sugar more effectively, but it also supports gut health by acting as a prebiotic. So let's taste test some sweet potatoes. Let's get this jalapeno taste out of the mouth.
Okay.
I think we could just
take a handful.
Take out this entire plate right now.
So the resistant starch is another reason why meal prepping your sweet potatoes is good. I mean,
yeah.
All we did yesterday was make a big sheet pan of these. Done.
These are really good.
They're delicious.
Tastes like candy.
I think it's a little bit of the caramelization.
Yeah, it feels so much better in my mouth.
Oh, good.
You just coat your tongue in sweet potato.
But think about it. Now you've got your vitamin A and your vitamin E. You've got 2 of your fat-soluble vitamins. Well, not at your RDA yet, but...
I think we will be quantitatively healthier by the end of this podcast.
I agree.
Let's move on to 7th place. We've got some chard. So chard is a fantastic source of vitamin K. It actually has the most vitamin K of any of the veggies that we ranked. It has almost 700% of your daily value for vitamin K in a 100-gram serving. And it also is really packed with magnesium. It has about 19% of the daily value for magnesium in a 100-gram serving. And it has the highest magnesium content of all of our leafy greens. It's also a great source of vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, and copper. Now, it is a little bitter, but you can reduce the bitterness by briefly boiling it and then cooling it down to reduce the bitterness. And you can also add some acidic ingredients like lemon juice or vinegar. And if you combine it with garlic and onions, then it can also help to balance and mellow out the bitterness. So what are your thoughts on chard?
It's not one of the veggies I eat a lot. I do find it a little bitter, but adding it into, again, as a leafy green into a stew or a chili, would be my preference. Not eating it straight up.
Yeah.
Which we're about to do.
All right, let's eat it straight up.
Which we're about to do.
All right, nothing's going to be worse than jalapenos.
Are you sure? It's not bad.
No, it's not terrible.
Not as peppery as the arugula.
Yeah, not peppery. Just tastes
green.
Very earthy.
Earthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tastes like you're drinking some pond scum.
When have you had pond scum?
That's the way I imagine it would taste like. I don't know, probably growing up, probably happened.
But you got your vitamin K, which is awesome, and your magnesium.
Actually, it's not bad. I remember it being more bitter than that.
This batch of Swiss chard is actually really...
Yeah. Yeah, this batch, they got their recipe right. Dialed that in. Now, moving on to an even better vegetable, in my opinion. We've got broccoli in 6th place. So some quick nutrient highlights for broccoli. It has almost 100% of the daily value for vitamin C. It has 85% of your daily value for vitamin K. And it has 16% of your daily value for folate. And these are all based, again, on a 100-gram portion. As far as some other health benefits, it contains sulforaphane, which is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and a few others. It also has benefits that include cancer prevention, cardiovascular protection, and support for overall cellular health. So really great compound. And that's kind of the main reason that you should be including at least one serving of cruciferous veggies in one of your meals throughout the day. As far as some quick preparation tips, sulforaphane is best preserved when broccoli is consumed raw, unlocking its full potential to combat inflammation and boost cellular health. Raw broccoli can actually provide up to 20 times more sulforaphane than its cooked counterpart. So that's a good reason to try some raw right now. However, if you do prefer your broccoli cooked, which is totally fine, and that's how I typically eat it as well, there's a way to retain most of its nutrient content, and that is in steaming. So by steaming broccoli for no more than a few minutes, you can preserve most of its valuable nutrients. So it's not quite raw anymore, but it also has a bunch of its nutrients and you haven't cooked those out. So as I said earlier, I'm pretty sure I would consider broccoli to be my favorite veggie. I mean, if you're going to throw in root vegetables, I guess that starts changing it, but certainly in terms of like a green veggie, I would say it's top for me. So,
and you didn't even mention the protein.
It is a good source of protein, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all around, it's good.
It's very good. So what are your thoughts on broccoli?
I keep broccoli in my freezer all the time. So to your point, I don't really like it raw, but I'll try and either steam it or lightly microwave it and throw lots of nutritional yeast on top. And sometimes, I mean, if I'm in a broccoli kick, I'll actually have it maybe every day, and then I'll go off it for a while. But broccoli's on the top. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I pretty much eat it every single day. It's definitely a go-to veggie for me. And yeah, as far as eating it raw, whenever you have like those holiday platters or veggie platters, whatever you call them at a party or whatever, I'll always have the carrots, always have the cucumber, always have the bell peppers. And even though I really love broccoli, I'll just leave that off to the side. Someone else can eat it. But it seems like usually actually most people don't eat it. It seems like those veggie platters just in general have too high of a percentage of their total kind of food in broccoli. Because I don't think I don't think there are too many people who love raw broccoli. If you're one of them, congratulations. It's very healthy.
Not me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's try some raw broccoli that we don't love.
It's a little bitter too.
There's a tad.
Maybe it's the stem. It's not bad, but I wouldn't. I mean, to your point, it's not like the bell peppers where I could sit and eat one after the other.
Yeah, when I just eat it like that, I reconsider it being my favorite veggie.
But once you steam it with a nice sauce, or put some black pepper, nutritional yeast on top, awesome.
Yeah, still better than jalapeno. Yeah, this takes some chewing work. Kind of like my body doesn't want to swallow it. Like, just spit it out. So that's broccoli. Coming in fifth place, we've got collard greens, and collard greens are a fantastic source of vitamin A, folate, vitamin K, calcium, manganese, really great source of a ton of different micronutrients. So in terms of some prep tips, you can actually use collard greens as healthy, super low calorie wraps because they have really strong leaves that will stay intact when you're making some kind of wrap or even like a sandwich or something like that. You can also reduce the bitterness of collard greens by using a similar cooking method that we talked about when it came to chard. And using collard greens and chard in soups is actually a really great way to soften them, make them taste a little bit better, kind of hide them in other foods. And I think that's actually what I need to try. I know I've had both of these in soups before, but I don't typically make soup kind of on my own. That's something I've usually just, I don't know, when my mom would make it growing up, like I'd eat it because that was what we had. But yeah, I think that's something that I can work into my meal plan a little bit. What do you think about collard greens?
Well, I grew up on collard greens. We had a little back garden, so we would actually grow collard greens, and they're a staple in a lot of diets for African Americans, but it wasn't healthy collard greens. I mean, usually they were probably a little fat and a little onion, but yeah, they've always been part of my nutrition.
All right, well let's try some.
Okay.
See how it is.
But they are easy to grow. Oh, this is crunchy. A little bitter.
A lot bitter.
These are the most bitter.
Yeah, by far the most bitter. Mm-hmm. Feels like you're chewing like construction paper.
For a wrap, I would probably go with lettuce over collards.
Yeah, actually I would too.
Yeah.
All right. I take away that tip. I've never prepared them this way, but you can maybe if you steam them just a little bit quickly and then use it as kind of a wrap, I
haven't tried that.
Might work.
But they are great in soups and stews. And they're loaded with all of the phytonutrients you mentioned. So even though they may taste a little bit of raw, go ahead and try them.
Yeah. I think it'd be really, just incorporating that in soup, not making like collard green soup, but make a good tasting soup and then just add a little bit of shredded collard greens in there.
Just like you would spinach.
Yeah. Well, I really love spinach. I can eat that. I can eat that raw. This, I'm not interested in eating raw. But actually, when I first went plant-based, I was just 100% focused on being as healthy as I possibly could be. Uh-huh. I eat collard greens all the time. Collard greens and mustard greens. I had a lot of chard as well. These were things that I just incorporated in my diet. I would make salads with these.
Wow.
And then I just eat it. And I just, I don't know what I did. I just turn off my taste buds and just plow through it. Yeah. It's like, I'm healthy. I like being healthy. Just forced into my mouth. But yeah, that's pretty better. That's, I don't know why I did that. All right. In fourth place, we've got Brussels sprouts. So these are a fantastic source of vitamin C. In fact, they pack almost 100% of your daily value in 100 grams. They're also a fantastic source of vitamin K. They pack almost 150% of the daily value. And they're also a great source of manganese and a host of other micronutrients. They're also a great source of sulforaphane. And in terms of some preparation tips, steaming is really a great way to preserve nutrients. That's basically true across the board with any veggie. And roasting them also tends to taste the best. That's how I like to have Brussels sprouts. So that's kind of my go-to. And you can also thinly slice them, add them to salads for a nice refreshing crunch. That's also packs a lot of nutrition. I actually really love Brussels sprouts, but you need to prepare them the right way. So definitely don't like eating them raw, but I do like having them roasted. So have you ever had like some really great roasted Brussels sprouts with like balsamic glaze or something, some like maple syrup?
When you've got just a nice little bit of crispiness on one side and maybe add a little red onion as you're roasting them. Perfect.
Yeah, tastes really good. And you can even, if you throw in some nuts as well, that can add a nice,
it's good for some nice flavor holiday dinner.
Yeah. So I really like Brussels sprouts, but I don't think I've ever eaten them raw.
Even kind of like thinly sliced over a salad?
Oh yeah, I guess I've had that. Yeah, I guess I've had that a handful of times, but it's definitely probably going to like Panera bread or something.
Yep.
Not anything that I would have made.
No.
But let's try raw Brussels sprouts on their own. See how that is. Probably not too good. This one was attacked by something. Talk about fiber.
Better than the collards. Some shaved Brussels on top of a salad. I mean, my favorite way is roasted.
Oh, by far. That's going to be the best.
But it's not bad.
No. But it's not really good either. It's another one of the veggies that you need to convince your body to swallow. I feel like a little kid right now. Like, no, I don't want veggies. I promise I eat lots of vegetables. I do like vegetables.
We're just eating them as close to nature provides them.
This is a suboptimal way of consuming them. This is a very random episode. Very different from other episodes we've done. All right, so top 3 now. We've got third place, garlic, which is a great source of vitamin B1, vitamin B6, manganese, selenium, zinc. And actually, garlic has the most zinc, manganese, and vitamin B6 of all of the veggies that we ranked in our video. We ranked over 50 of them, and garlic came out on top for all of those micronutrients. Garlic is also fantastic for gut health, and it enhances your body's absorption rate of both iron and zinc. Garlic can also help your body absorb more iron and zinc, so pairing garlic with some of our high iron veggies like dark leafy greens can enhance your iron absorption. Now, in terms of some preparation tips, we want to focus on increasing allicin, which is a compound within garlic. So raw garlic contains all the compounds to create allicin, which is the super compound that gives garlic many of its health benefits. But here's the catch. Allicin only forms when you pull together garlic's 2 special components, alliin and alliinase. And that only happens when you slice, press, chop, or chew garlic. So that's pretty easy, but actually heating garlic will destroy this process instantly. So if the first thing that you do is heat garlic, then you're going to lose those nutritional benefits. So an easy tip here is to just press, slice, or chop your garlic and let it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking. This little wait gives allicin time to form, turning your garlic into a real health powerhouse. Plus, it also makes your dishes tastier and more aromatic. So garlic is definitely something I love to include in really any dish. I'll put it in anything, except for like oatmeal or a smoothie, but pretty much anything else. I'll throw some garlic in. What are your thoughts on garlic?
I agree with you. I even put it in my homemade dressing. So there's never enough garlic. It's like jalapeno.
Yeah. All right. I agree on the garlic. Not so much the jalapenos, but all right. This actually might be the most entertaining part of this whole thing. We got 2 garlic cloves here. Yeah, honestly, I just use minced garlic all the time. I'll just use minced garlic right out of a container. It's
much easier.
It's just too much work. Yeah, when you want to eat garlic in the quantities that I eat garlic, it's easier to get. It's a part-time job.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Spicy.
That's really got a bite to it when you just... Wow, it's like, just like lights your tongue on fire. You feel that on your tongue?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was worse than the jalapeno.
Actually. What is this?
Oh my Lord.
That's actually super spicy.
That packed a punch.
Yeah, that's
I feel it going down my esophagus.
Yeah. It's just burning.
The whole way down.
Is this normal garlic? Did we get some kind of mutant
super
garlic? Yeah, super garlic. I don't know if I've ever just eaten like a garlic clove.
I have not.
I know. That is intense.
No, why?
That's intense. Cook your garlic. So, coming in second place, we've got spinach. Now, the nutritional highlights here are abundant. There are a ton of them. Vitamin K, it has over 400% of the daily value for vitamin K. Vitamin A, it has over 50%. Folate, about 50%. It also has tons of manganese, magnesium, iron, potassium. And as far as ranking out of all the other veggies, spinach has the most iron, potassium, and folates of all of the produce. And it also has the second highest magnesium content of the top 10 here in front of us. So the one caveat here is that because of oxalates, our bodies have trouble using some of the nutrients in spinach, like iron. So oxalates are a natural compound that plants use to protect themselves from bugs and other pests. In spinach, oxalates bind to minerals like iron and calcium, making them less absorbable and reducing their bioavailability. But as far as some prep tips, we can reduce the oxalates by cooking spinach. That removes some of the oxalate content, making nutrients more bioavailable. However, certain cooking methods like boiling can actually wash away some of the good stuff as well. So the best cooking method to preserve nutrients while cutting down on oxalate content is actually steaming or microwaving. So the best practice, pretty much just in general for most vegetables, is to have both cooked and raw vegetables in your diet. So the same thing goes with spinach. Have both cooked and raw spinach to get a variety of different nutrients. Now, spinach is a fantastic source of non-heme iron, which is the kind of iron that we want to be including in our diets. And some tips to boost non-heme iron intake would be combining high iron foods like spinach with a high vitamin C food that can enhance iron absorption. So some high vitamin C foods include things like bell peppers, broccoli, we've got strawberries, citrus fruits, a lot of different sources of vitamin C. And when you combine vitamin C with the non-heme iron, it can substantially increase the intake of iron. So where would you say that spinach ranks on your list of veggies?
High, but not the highest. I eat a lot of spinach, mainly as an additive to things like salads, again, soup stews. But you can make a beautiful spinach salad with like a balsamic strawberry glaze, a dressing that'll get your citrus with it. And it's
that's a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Add a little bell pepper in there too.
Yep. Delicious.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I eat spinach all the time. I usually have it in smoothies, so I'm just constantly adding it to smoothies. But yeah, it's good to, as I just touched on, it's good to have some cooked versions of spinach as well. So this one's an easy one. I know this is going to be pretty decent.
And they make nice little rolls.
Yeah. Roll it up. Nothing bad about spinach.
Very benign.
Yes, it is. All right, now in first place of all the veggies that we ranked in our video, so we ranked over 50 veggies, and kale came out on top, which is no big surprise. Kale is a nutrition powerhouse. It has tons of vitamin A, tons of vitamin C, vitamin K, calcium, manganese. It has actually more calcium than any other veggie, and it just ranks highly across the board in most of the micronutrients. So if you're not a huge fan of leafy greens like kale, you can add them to a smoothie. That's a fantastic way to eat them and also reap all of the health benefits. And at the grocery store, you'll typically find a younger or baby version of kale. You can also find baby spinach. I guess we actually have baby spinach here. And even though they might have a little bit less fiber than their adult counterparts, these are also still full of the same nutrients, and they're actually easier in general to eat raw because they're more tender. So that can be a great way of including a little bit more of these in your diet. So yeah, we've got the adult kale over here. So let's see what that tastes like.
Okay. Now, I'm sure one of your tips is to massage your kale before you eat it.
I actually did include that tip. Why don't you share that tip?
So, I mean, for anyone, if you're a kale newbie, one of the things you can do after you strip your kale, chop it up, put it in a bowl, you can sprinkle it with a little bit of lemon juice or even a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and then massage it for 5 or so minutes. It helps break down the fiber and make it easier, the cell walls in the plant, and make it easier to digest. So it's a little less bitter, a little less hard for people, especially if you're new to kale. And it's a great way to get out your aggression. Yeah.
I've actually never, as you were saying that, I've never given kale a 5-minute massage. Should pay you for that. I typically, I'll give it like 30 seconds, like a little,
get in the bowl,
like a tiny little, like half-ass back rub. You're just,
you're fired.
Like full body massage.
You're fired.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good tip. I guess I can, definitely make mine a little bit more tender. I'd say, yeah, eating that raw, that's, sweet potatoes for sure
I was
are
number one. They're number one.
It's not even a question. Now, if we actually ate raw sweet potatoes like all the other ones, it might be dead last. So maybe it got a little bit of an unfair advantage, but yeah, also not too keen on trying raw sweet potato. But yeah, I'd say kale is kind of a close second in terms of just
went down easy.
How it goes down. Yeah. All right, let's dive into some honorable mentions now that we've covered all of the top 10. So the first two honorable mentions I want to give are for romaine and radicchio. These two just missed our top 10, and like our other leafy greens, they're also a great source of vitamin K, with both of them hitting over 100% of the daily value. Radicchio also has that kind of purple reddish hue that indicates a high amount of anthocyanins, so this is a great source for a bunch of different nutrients. Do you have any thoughts on both of these, romaine, radicchio?
They are nice when you want to make a big salad. That's about it.
Yeah. When you want to make a big salad, just add a tiny little bit?
Well, romaine's a nice filler for salad, and radicchio's a little bitter to me, so I don't eat it that often. Romaine is easy to just grab, chop, 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 throw in a bowl, and you're done.
Yeah. All right. And not a huge fan of, I don't like either of them. Not a huge fan of either of them. And I don't understand what the hype is about romaine. It's just I think it's totally uninteresting. I don't like it.
I think there's a good mouthfeel. I mean, if you're craving something
I do like the
crunchy,
crunch. Yeah. But as far as the actual taste, it's not there for me.
And it's another good way to make a wrap. So,
yeah, actually it is. That's and after if I were forced to choose something like collard greens or romaine for making some kind of wrap, I would actually choose romaine, but that's not saying much. All right, we'll try romaine first.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go.
I'll finish off your leaf.
You get some nice crunch sound effects on the mic.
Glad I didn't eat breakfast.
Yeah. We're eating the healthiest breakfast ever. It's actually not scientifically possible to create a healthier breakfast. Actually, this isn't bad.
It's Swedish.
It is kind of sweet. Maybe I'm having a veggie revelation here.
Epiphany.
Yeah.
It's almost refreshing.
It actually is. Wow, I actually like that.
Okay. Romaine's moving up the list.
I don't remember romaine ever scarring me.
Why you don't like it more.
Yeah. But maybe I just haven't given it an honest chance.
I mean, that's a nice head of romaine.
That's very good.
I could eat some more.
I don't remember romaine tasting like that.
That is delicious. Yeah.
Is this significantly better than other romaine that you've had?
Usually I've had it in a salad. I don't know that I've had it just as a leaf, except maybe as a wrap. But this was very sweet, crunchy.
Yeah. It's very sweet. That tastes delicious. All right. I think I've been sleeping on romaine a little bit. Okay, the other one we're going to try is radicchio. This one looks like a dinosaur egg or something.
I think I'm going to go conservative on this one.
Conservative? Uh-oh. I was warned. That doesn't look super conservative. That's a big portion. So bitter.
Very bitter. Ooh, bitter.
It's very bitter. All right. Radicchio, you lost this round.
Romaine won.
Wow, now I like romaine even more. We should have done that in reverse order. But thankfully, we've got bell peppers coming up, which is something we both really love. Now, since eating 100 grams of jalapeno peppers really isn't realistic, at least certainly not for me, I ate 1 gram and I was incapacitated for 10 minutes. But bell peppers placed right behind jalapeno peppers, and they also have a lot of the same properties. So a fun fact that you may already know is that red bell peppers are just mature versions of green and yellow peppers. And that's because they've just had more time to accumulate nutrients and phytochemicals. And that's what makes them more nutritious than their green and yellow counterparts. Bell peppers also contain over 140% of the daily value for vitamin C. So a fantastic source for vitamin C, pair that with some other high iron foods, and you're going to be in really good shape. So, all right, let's wash down that radicchio with some of this.
Thank
we'll just
you.
grab a handful.
But yes, getting the red bell pepper with your spinach and a little bit of dressing, perfect.
I love bell peppers. I could eat red bell peppers. Can eat it raw. I throw it in so many different dishes, have it cooked. It's so good in stir fries. I'll chop it up. I'll put it on pizza. I'll have it in pasta dishes. I'll put it on pretty much every salad that I ever eat. It's so versatile and it tastes really delicious. It's got a nice crunch too. Appreciate that.
I think that's the other thing, especially I know when a lot of people are first becoming plant-based, they want that variety of mouthfeel. Bell peppers are a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. So coming in next, we've got onions. And since eating 100 grams of garlic isn't very realistic, just like eating 100 grams of jalapenos isn't very realistic, we do have to mention onions. And in fact, I thought that eating 100 grams, someone actually, so he posted this video and I made a comment in the video about jalapenos, about 100 grams not being really realistic for jalapenos, but still it's super healthy for you. And then someone in the comments said, well, you mentioned jalapenos, but what about garlic? Like, you think 100 grams of that is realistic? And actually, when I read that, I thought, yeah, actually, I think it is realistic. I love garlic and I would just put gobs of it in my food, but certainly not raw.
No.
You got to eat.
That was painful.
I can't even do a gram of that raw. It is not so good. But since eating 100 grams of garlic, yeah, honestly, isn't that realistic, we do need to mention onions. And onions, they're both in the same family. So they're both in the family of alliums. And although onions kind of scored low in our allium category, they still contain many of the same health promoting compounds that are found in garlic. So if you combine onions and garlic, which I do all the time in all different dishes, basically all the dishes I just mentioned, that's a great way to add some delicious flavor and extra disease-fighting compounds to your meals. So we've got some red onion here, or I mean, realistically, this is purple. This is purple onion. I think people in general call it red onion, but think it's for sure.
They may
purple.
even label it in the store red onion.
Yeah, I would call it purple. It's actually really nice. Nice crunch. It's a little sweet.
Ooh, up the sinuses.
Does kind of build on you. Yeah. Oh, it kind of flies under the radar and then it's like, oh,
yep,
I'm here.
Clear. That cleared out everything.
Yeah. Yeah, actually that does have more of a bite.
But it's great. I mean, saute up some red onion, some garlic, some jalapeno.
Yeah. Yeah, I will put some sauteed onion, garlic. It goes well in basically any kind of savory dish. I'll put it in pretty much anything. All right, up next for the honorable mentions, we've got okra and snap peas. So none of our pod vegetables made it to the top 10. So we'd also add in there, we'd add, green beans, and there was one other that I'm blanking on right now. But these are all pod vegetables and none of them made it into the top 10, but both okra and snap peas tied for first in the pod veggie category. I also really love green beans. In fact, that was one of the main veggies that I kind of grew up eating. We had green beans all the time. But both okra and snap peas beat them by a pretty good margin. So these are definitely the way to go if you are considering adding some pod veggies to your diet. Now, both of these are excellent sources of vitamin K and vitamin C. Okra contained the most fiber, potassium, and manganese in this group. And snap peas also have a really deliciously sweet flavor, and eating them raw can actually preserve their vitamin C content. So try adding them fresh to a salad or have them with some dip or something like that. Eat them fresh and you can have more of the vitamin C content. So we've got both okra. Let's start with okra. I
never had raw. I have some okra trauma.
Okra trauma? I don't remember ever having okra, so maybe I'm about to be traumatized. You're about to witness some trauma.
I remember sitting at the kitchen table until the cows come home.
Yeah.
Eat your okra.
Yeah. Really? Is that bad? There were a lot of people saying in the comments on our YouTube video it's fantastic. Slime?
That's my childhood trauma.
Yeah. All right. We're traumatizing Daphne on the podcast. I'm following your lead. I want to know. So if you're just listening to this, we are literally trying everything raw except for the sweet potatoes. So we just got right out of the package pieces of okra.
But I can see when the seeds get cooked, it's going to be slimy.
Kind of interesting.
Trauma reversed.
We're healing trauma on the podcast today. Yeah, that's not bad.
I was a little afraid.
Yeah. All right. Now some...
These are good.
Snap peas. These are good. So
no trauma here.
Nice, sweet, refreshing.
Mm-hmm. These are great in salads too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just... Well, you don't even need to chop them up. Throw them right in salads. Very good. All right. Actually, yeah, Daphne, I kind of messed up. We got coming in last. I was pushing it off to the end because I didn't really want to eat it, but now it's going to be the taste left in her mouth. All right, oyster mushrooms. So although mushrooms are fungi, not vegetables, we've included them in our veggie ranking because they are typically eaten as vegetables. And actually, the entire mushroom category has the most abundant variety of B vitamins out of all of our veggies, with oyster mushrooms coming out on top as the most nutrient dense. And mushrooms are also packed with anti-aging compounds. This is something that Dr. Greger talks about a lot in his new book, How Not to Age. Mushrooms are one of the only concentrated sources of a compound called ergothioneine, and of more than 100 compounds measured in the bloodstreams of thousands of individuals, the one that most associated with the lowest rates of disease and death was ergothioneine. So ergothioneine is only found in fungi. It is not produced in the human body, but when consumed, it can be absorbed and accumulated in the body. Now, ergothioneine may explain why mushroom consumption is associated with a lower risk of dying prematurely from all causes put together. Mushrooms are also a really great source of spermidine. Spermidine is a compound that plays a key role in regulating cell growth and is a potent activator of autophagy. And autophagy is a natural process by which cells clean out damaged or unnecessary components. Now, if you don't like mushrooms, neither of us like mushrooms. In fact, I would go so far as to say I hate mushrooms, and I think you're in the same camp. But if you don't like mushrooms, you can just use a mushroom powder. I actually eat mushroom powder every single day. Well, I don't really technically eat it. I swallow it. I put it right into a potato starch packet, and I make sure that's rolled up tight so I don't taste any of the mushroom. And then I just swallow that in some water. So that's the way that I take in mushrooms, because after I read How Not to Age, I realized that I have been majorly missing out on mushrooms. So have you tried any of that, like mushroom powder? Have you tried doing the mushroom packet?
I haven't tried the mushroom packet yet.
All right.
The only powder I've tried is some porcini mushroom powder to make like a gravy or a sauce. But yeah, I need to try the goldfish method.
Yeah. Yeah, people said, oh, well, porcini has such a nice umami flavor and it's so good in different dishes. I'm like, no, it tastes terrible. It should not be in any dishes. But we all have different taste preferences. So let's, all right, now all of you can listen to us hate on mushrooms. It's really kind of light, airy.
Spongy.
Yeah.
There is no flavor.
Okay. I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
musty sponge.
I don't think I'd want to eat another one.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't want to eat this one.
I just chewed fast and swallowed whole.
Yeah. This would be just a phenomenal way of traumatizing a kid. You're just like,
you have to try each one of these.
You're going to try all of these different vegetables raw. Your kid is going to just grow up on macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
But if that's all they knew, it may not be trauma.
If you only feed your kid these vegetables raw.
Yep. This is all you get to eat.
Yeah. They'd probably develop a very strong affinity for sweet potatoes.
I would.
Yeah. All right. So we have made it through all of our top 10 veggies. We've made it through our honorable mentions. And now let's discuss some of the main takeaways. So first takeaway, cruciferous veggies are super healthy. So 4 of our top 10 are cruciferous veggies. We've got arugula, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and kale. Cruciferous veggies are a great source of many disease-fighting compounds. In fact, the daily consumption of cruciferous vegetables has been associated with a reduced risk of death from all causes, including cancer and depression. So cruciferous veggies are super healthy. Another main takeaway is that leafy greens are super healthy. And I know that comes as no surprise, but it is worth noting because 5 of the top 10 of all of our veggies are leafy greens. So we have arugula, chard, collard greens, spinach, and kale. Now, besides things like iceberg lettuce, almost all leafy greens are an excellent source of vitamin K. Vitamin K is essential for bone health and blood clotting, so including some leafy greens in your diet daily can help you to really meet your vitamin K needs. That makes it super easy and straightforward. So that's our second main takeaway. Another main takeaway is that it's important to understand nutrient availability. So cooking most of these vegetables can enhance the availability of certain nutrients while reducing others. So as we talked about earlier, a good mix of both cooked and raw vegetables in your diet is always a good way to go. That's a great way of including a wide variety of different nutrients in your diet. Another main takeaway that's important to keep in mind is that you should aim to eat the rainbow. So different colors indicate different disease-fighting compounds. So you should actually aim to hit about 30 different plants in your diet every week. So you can kind of just go through, call these plant points, and every single time that you consume a different plant, that's one more point, and you can just add this to your list. You have a running list, and you just tally those up throughout the week. And if you hit 30 plus, that is super good for the general nutrition of your diet. So I actually started my day with a fruit and veggie smoothie. So I had blueberries, I had spinach, I had some mango, had some pineapple, had some flaxseed, had some wheat germ. Those were the main things. So that's 6. And then we got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I already had spinach, so that doesn't count. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Did I do that right? 3, somewhere in that range. So that's I got to start my day this way every day. I'll be so healthy.
Except for the garlic and the jalapenos.
Yeah. We forget the jalapenos, forget the garlic, definitely forget the mushrooms. And yeah, we'll chop off a few plant points, but we'll still be good. Another main takeaway is that all veggies are healthy. And I know that's super obvious, but I really want to emphasize that because we did talk about ranking them in terms of nutrition. We said that these are the best. And if you look at their nutrition profiles, technically these are some of the heaviest hitters, but all vegetables are great to include in your diet. So it really comes down to having a variety of different veggies. So eating the rainbow, eating a wide variety of different veggies, because all of them provide slightly different nutrients and kind of some different nutrition properties. So it's better to eat some of the less nutritious veggies like cucumbers and iceberg lettuce than to eat no veggies at all. So even if the veggies that you really love are not technically in the top 10 or some of the most healthy, it's totally okay. Be sure to include those in your diet, even if it's something like cucumbers, which actually ranked at the very bottom of our entire a veggie ranking video. I really love cucumbers. It's something that I eat all the time. I love it in sushi. I chop it up, put it on salads. I just love having it raw with hummus. So there are lots of great veggies, and what matters most is that you enjoy what you're eating. And that brings us to our final main takeaway, which is that you should enjoy what you are eating. So I don't like chard collard greens, arugula. I don't like mushrooms. I definitely don't like garlic raw, which I learned today. Don't like jalapeños. So I won't necessarily eat all of these foods on a regular basis. And that's totally okay. You need to find the different veggies that you most enjoy and really work to maintain diversity. So try to include a bunch of different veggies in your diet. But stick with the ones that you most prefer, because guess what? Those are going to be the ones that you actually buy and eat. You're not going to just buy them and try to twist your own arm and say, I'm going to eat these, and then they're just going to sit at the back of your fridge and end up going bad, and then you just have to compost them. So be sure that you actually enjoy what you're eating. That's really important. Any final thoughts on any of this?
No, thanks for inviting me to this. This was fun.
Yeah.
And try it at home. I mean, I think it's actually a good idea for families to expose their kids to some of this. But unless you try it, you don't know if you like it or not.
That's actually a really good point. If you kind of go through and you try new veggies, and then you might find some that you are surprised about. I'm actually super surprised about romaine. I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting to eat that and think, yeah, this is gross. And it confirmed what I've always felt. But then, I'll also maybe try veggies from time to time. If you haven't liked them in the past, I thought I really didn't like romaine, but then I tried again and I like it now. So, or at least I like this romaine bunch. We'll see.
The next one.
Yeah, maybe this is just some magical romaine. Maybe it's different than all the other ones I've had. But
if you're going to the grocery store, going to a farmer's market, think about trying a new vegetable, maybe once every 2 weeks, once a month, and you may just broaden your experience and broaden your palate.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool way of doing it. You go through, and every single time you're going to the farmer's market, or as you said, every week, every other week, choosing a new vegetable that you haven't really had before or seriously given a shot, and just try it and find some recipe and try making it. I think that's a great way to go, and you can discover some new veggies that you didn't know you liked.
Exactly.
All right, so that's going to be a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to this. I hope that you enjoyed this. It was a different style than we've done in the past, but this was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed going through these. And even though they weren't all great, it was a fun experience. And as you know, we don't run any ads on this podcast. The only way that we grow this podcast is through word of mouth. So in exchange for the value that we bring you, we simply ask that you share every episode that you find value in with one other person, whether they're vegan, plant-based, or just interested in becoming more plant-based. So at the Vegan Gym, we're on a mission to help 1 million people to thrive on plants. And the only way that we're going to be able to achieve that is with your help. So please help others to thrive on plants so we can make a healthier, more compassionate world for all living beings. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.